The Cine Bata Video Festival is calling for submission of entries. With this year's theme, United in Love. If you are a Filipino video content creator, show us your best work for a chance to represent the Philippines. Deadline of submission is on August 30, 2019. For inquiries, visit or contact the following.
E25 Records proudly presents
Palaging talo sa umpisa.
Iwan man ng kahapon, may kalakot ang gabi ng bawat hamon. Sa himbing ng dulo, di muli ako babangon.
Rapido, I Do Rap!
Salamin ng mga rason ay hindi ko makita.
As he releases his debut album.
Laging sakit ang tinutulak ng dati matapos sa bibig.
Like and share E25 Records Facebook page.
Pasok na sa aking ipin, subalit tuloy pa rin sa pag-ibig.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel of E25 Records. Music is now available for streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes. Brought to you by E25 Records.
Umalis, mabilis na pagkatapos lalakarin ko na lang para di na ako tumasas mabigat ang pasahan na gilid sa laham. Sa labi na walang masahan.
Magandang umaga. Sa ating ulat panahon, bahagyang humina ang bagyong Egay. Batay sa datos ng Pag-asa, huling namataan ng bagyong Egay sa 195 kilometers east-northeast ng Apari, Cagayan o 205 kilometers east ng Calayan, Cagayan. Taglay nito ang lakas ng hanging aabot sa 45 kilometers kada oras, habang may pagbugso itong aabot sa 60 kilometers kada oras at kumikilos ito pahilagang kanluran sa bilis na 40 kilometers per hour. Nakataas ang Public Storm Warning Signal number 1 sa Batanes at Babuyan Group of Islands. Dahil sa bagyo, patuloy nitong palalakasin ang southwest monsoon o habagat na maghahatid pa rin ng pag-ulan sa Metro Manila, Ilocos Region, Cordillera Administrative Region, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Bicol Region, Antique, Aklan at Western Iloilo. Makararanas naman ng mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan ang nalalabi pang bahagi ng Luzon at Western Visayas. Sa kaugnay na balita, kanselado ang ilang flights ngayong araw sa Ninoy Aquino International Airport o NAIA dahil pa rin sa masamang panahon. Sa inilabas na abiso ng Manila International Airport Authority o MIAA, kinansela ng Cebu Pacific ang mga flight number 5J561 at 5J562 na may ruta na Manila to Cebu at pabalik. Payo ng MIA, makipag-ugnayan sa airline company ang mga apektadong pasahero para sa rebooking ng kanilang flight o refund ng kanilang pamasahe. At yan ang mga balita para sa oras na ito. Abangan ang iba pang mga balita mamayang alas 10:30 ng umaga sa Agila, Pilipinas. Mula sa Eagle News Service, ako si Phoebe Publico and I'm 125.
We live in interesting times. This week's stories. Speculations are circulating after a skydiving aircraft accident in Hawaii claimed 11 lives with no survivors. Filipino Food Festival brings authentic cuisine to U.S. Capitol. Philippine Independence Day anniversary celebrations continue in Canada. Plus, powerlifting competition pushes the bar at the 2019 Warrior Games. And 2019 Warrior Games archery competition hits the bullseye. Hello everyone, I'm Alan Baso Yahe bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News Weekend Edition, broadcasting from Los Angeles. As the U.S. government takes the lead in an investigation into a recent airplane crash in Hawaii that killed 11 people with no survivors, speculations and opinions as to the cause of the accident are already circulating, especially by those who have experience with flying airplanes and even skydiving. Hawaii correspondent Mio Asenas with more.
When you're up there at, I believe, 10,000 feet, there's a lot of responsibility on the pilot, a lot of responsibility on the wellness of the plane.
With summer officially underway, Hawaii residents and businesses were looking forward to another busy and hopefully profitable tourist season. But first, they have to deal with a tragic accident involving a skydiving airplane that crashed here in the north shore of Oahu.
At around 6:30 p.m. Hawaii time, a twin-engine plane known as a Beechcraft 65 King Air crashed after taking off in a grassy area near the edge of the Dillingham Airfield and Farrington Highway. Witnesses nearby said they saw an explosion and flying debris when the airplane hit the ground, while others far away as Haleiwa to the east said they could see a column of black smoke. The Honolulu Fire Department arrived at the scene and later put out the blaze. After evaluating the situation, Fire Chief Manuel Neves announced that there were no survivors and noted that family members of those on board were on the ground when the crash happened and may have seen the plane go down. Neves even described the event as one of the most tragic he ever experienced in his 40 years of service. At first, authorities estimated that 9 people perished in the crash. However, on the following Saturday morning, an official from the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, updated that their investigation showed 11 people on board. Most of them were employees of the Oahu Parachute Center, a skydiving company operating from the airfield. Hawaii's Department of Transportation indicated that the federal government was leading the investigation on the crash. By the time Eagle News arrived at the scene, representatives from the National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB, were already at the crash site taking a first-hand look at the wreckage.
24 hours has passed since the accident, and as you can see, the flowers have already been offered here to pay respects to those who perished.
We later spoke with Agassi, who is a licensed small airplane pilot. on the possibilities why the skydiving airplane came down that Friday night.
Most likely, I would assume engine failure during takeoff. And maybe they don't have any time to react. I don't know, because like during takeoff, you got a lot of things going on. You are monitoring your airspeed, you are talking to the radio, you are looking around if there's any traffic. It's multitasking on departure. So if that happens to you, then you gotta react quick.
We also spoke with Henry, who went skydiving with friends several years back at the same location of the accident. He shares his thoughts on what might have happened.
The experience of skydiving for the first time is one that you kind of have to force yourself to experience. No one really ever decides to go and say, I want to go skydive today. This sounds like a fun thing. It's something you really put a lot of thought into, but it's one of those you really just want to try it. To my recollection, there was very little interaction with the pilot. We were more prepared for the jump than we were for the actual plane ride, and if any precautions were needed for the actual flight itself. We were not given any introductions or any warnings or any if something were to happen, we were not given any of that.
Several of the victims have already been identified by family and friends through social media. Meanwhile, Dillingham Airfield will be closed indefinitely, affecting other business establishments inside. To recall, a similar tragedy took place in December 1981 when the plane, also a twin-engine Beechcraft, crashed into the waters of Pearl Harbor, killing 11 people. The group of skydivers was planning to parachute into the Aloha Stadium.
From the north shore of Oahu Island of Hawaii, I'm Mio Asenas, 1 with 25.
Since this report was filed, the NTSB described this crash as the deadliest civilian airplane accident in the United States since 2011. Investigators also noted that the airplane in question already had a history of substantial damage involving another skydiving operation in California back in 2016. So far, the victims identified have included several instructors, at least 2 active duty service members, and a young couple from Colorado who was celebrating their 1-year anniversary. When we come back, Filipino Food Festival brings authentic cuisine to U.S. Capitol. Philippine Independence Day anniversary celebrations continue in Canada. Eagle News Weekend Edition will return shortly. Stay with us.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News Weekend Edition. I'm Alan Basoyahe. Taste the Philippines DC Filipino Food Festival brings to the U.S. Capitol authentic cuisine, live music, and more. Eagle News correspondent RN Abunal reports.
Filipinos and non-Filipinos alike are in for a treat today. Here at the District Wharf in Washington, D.C., where the DC Filipino Food Festival is happening. So everyone can taste the Philippines! Yes, so this is our first annual DC Filipino Food Festival. It is held, as you can see, at the beautiful District Pier at the Wharf in Southwest Washington, D.C. And we're so honored to work with these amazing chefs, the community. We've had over 200 supporters come out, thousands of people come out on this day to celebrate Filipino culture and food.
Well, being over the Philippines a few times, I've tried the culture and the food itself. Here it's a little different. They're trying to blend things together to make everything taste, for everybody to enjoy. But the thing about Filipino food is very sweet usually, which everybody loves sweet food. So it's a very nice thing to have here.
We got to taste some things I've never tasted before. I've tasted some things I've tasted other versions of before, but was blown away. The food was excellent. The music was entertaining, and we got to see some beautiful regalia. I don't want to say costume, that implies fake like Halloween. Regalia, and some entertainment on the stage. So that was also worth wait to see that too.
This is very interesting, and a lot of people, all these presentations. So listening to the singers, and we enjoyed it. Plus, the weather is good. I have to hold on to my hat.
I think it's a really great idea to kind of increase the cultural sensitivity of our nation and to also spread awareness of the different types of cuisine that's available to people in their neighborhood. This area is I wanted to be in an area where there's a lot of different cultures and ethnicities. I think we can all learn from each other, from our own experiences and sharing them with others. I think it allows us to grow as individuals and as a nation.
I mean, there's so many Filipinos here in the U.S. and not as many restaurants to represent Filipinos. And so when we have events like this, it's an opportunity for, like I said, people to come out and try new food and then go look out, for Filipino restaurants and go try the awesome ones that are here in D.C. like Kaliwa and Bad Saint and a bunch of others, yeah.
What this entire festival means to us is, really exposing to people what Filipino food is and how delicious and how, what kind of experience it can be. One thing that we really love is, delicious food, really nice, comfortable ambiance. So we have a kids area in our restaurant. We love families to come in, and that's what Filipino culture is all about, is spending time with family, making sure everybody feels included and that, you have a really great time over some really delicious foods.
Since this date is quite in close proximity with the National Coconut Day of the United States, we decided to feature Philippine coconut products that are available here in the U.S. for the visitors to try. And it's a way of promoting Philippine coconuts at the same time supporting the first ever Taste the Philippines Festival.
And it's just so great. There are lots of volunteers, there are lots of participants. It's so nice to see our Philippine flags here in the DC Wharf and have this Filipino festival. Filipino cuisine is not as popular as other Asian cuisines, but now we're feeling that we're getting there to be at the top of being popular here in the United States.
The Filipino American community here, they came out in droves. It's so nice to see so many of them here. And I think it has made all of us realize that we can do it. We can stage an event like this at the U.S. Capitol and be successful and have our American friends join us and support it. The great thing about this is that this is organized by Kaliwa Restaurant and also Mindset Communities and the Philippine American Foundation for Charities. And these are three establishments that we have been working closely with. And so to see them really, meaning this is a private initiative, and so to see them really galvanize the community and encourage all of these establishments to be part of it, it's just wonderful. And we hope that it becomes a yearly event.
I hope to just keep spreading the word of the hashtag Filipino food movement, but with the Filipino food movement also comes the culture and the organizations and the brotherly and sisterly love that we have for each other and promoting our culture and promoting this culture to other cultures who are not familiar with Filipino culture. So I think just like the community awareness of it and like spreading outside of the DC area is just an amazing feat in itself, and to be doing this in the heart of the nation's capital is an honor. And so I think this will definitely set precedents for future organizations and food festivals to basically base our event on.
Parang nasa Ortigas lang tayo! From the street foods, delectable dishes, music and performances, this is surely a fun treat, lalo na kung homesick ka na. From the DC Filipino Food Festival here at the District Wharf, I'm Aaron Abanal, always one with 25.
Thanks, Aaron. Meanwhile in Canada, celebrations of the Philippine Independence Day anniversary continue. Eagle News correspondent Kathleen Cruz takes us to Vancouver, British Columbia for an evening of Filipino pride and hospitality. Take a look.
In commemoration of the 121st anniversary of Philippine independence, Filipino-Canadian Societies of British Columbia are celebrating with a gala night, which aims to showcase Filipino talent, culture, and tradition. Araw ng Kalayaan, or the Day of Freedom. June 12, 1898, one of the most significant dates in the Philippine history, as this day marks the sovereignty and independence of the Philippines from the Spanish colonization for over 300 years. While celebrations are being held in the Philippines nationwide, Filipinos here in Canada are also celebrating the nation's liberation, especially that June was declared by the Canadian government as the Filipino Heritage Month.
Celebrating Independence Day, even we are outside the Philippines, is already a part of our culture. We have to be a proud Filipino. And the fact that we were the first Asian country who fought against European colonization, and in that case, we are a freedom-loving people.
In the history of the Philippines, Independence Day really spelled out when we became a nation. It symbolizes the sacrifices of our forefathers for all the freedoms that we have now. And it's very important that we remember that and we honor that, because that's the source of our being a people.
Singer Shireen Rehis also emphasizes how important it is to celebrate Philippine Independence Day.
Well, it is really important, especially to the new generation, because they need to know the history of the Philippines and how we got our independence. That's why in this time, people should remember everything what happened in the past and what should be done for us to remember everything and for us to develop and for the progress of our Philippines.
The gala night also highlights the richness and diversity of the Filipino culture through a fashion show of exceptional gowns and suits made by Filipino designers Jay Lacin and Christine Regalado. The event also showcases Filipino art with an exhibit by the Vancouver-based Filipino artist LUMAD, or League of United Minds for Arts and Development.
If you are a migrant, you need to embrace the multicultural society, and to embrace it, you need to share your identity, culturally or spiritually, or physically. Parang ano siya paano ka makasurvive sa isang dayuhang bansa na parang magkaroon ka ng sense of belonging or parang at home ka. So through art, parang doon namin mas ma-embrace yung identity.
In connection with Filipino Heritage Month in Canada, the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, the Church of Christ charity arm, received a humanitarian award for their work benefiting the marginalized groups across Canada through their organization's global campaign against poverty, Lingap sa Mamamayan, or Aid to Humanity, and their notable dedication in reaching out to impoverished communities.
On behalf of the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation, the charitable arm of the Blessed Church of Christ, I am accepting this humanitarian award. This is such a humbling moment to have been acknowledged for the many ways we are reaching out to underserved communities, indigenous people, refugees, and people who are challenged by economic disruption. Our dear Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, whose strive and determination in leading the church, he inspired all the members of the Iglesia ni Cristo all over the world to do good deeds as written in the Holy Scripture. Again, thank you everyone. Our fellow kababayan, thank you so much for believing in mission and vision of the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation. Thank you so much.
The Filipino community in Canada is now the third largest immigrant community in all of Canada. We bring so much to the country, the diverse country that is Canada. In fact, We are now 930,000 strong. But again, there's so much that we can do. There is so much that to strengthen our political and economic presence in Canada. So I'm very glad that we have events like this that's able to do that.
Reporting from Vancouver for the Canada-wide Filipino Heritage Month celebration, for Eagle News, Kathleen Cruz, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Kathleen. When we come back, for EBC Sports, powerlifting competition pushes the bar at the 2019 Warrior Games. And 2019 Warrior Games archery competition hits the bullseye. Eagle News Weekend Edition will be right back.
ASEAN in Focus, Monday to Friday, 2 to 2:30 p.m.
This is Eagle News Weekend Edition. I'm Alan Basoyahe. Now for sports. The 2019 Department of Defense Warrior Games, a Paralympic-style competition among wounded, ill, and injured service members and veterans, brought to Tampa, Florida, approximately 300 competitors participating in 13 sports: archery, cycling, track and field, shooting, sitting volleyball, swimming, wheelchair basketball, rowing, powerlifting, wheelchair tennis, wheelchair rugby, and for the first time in Warrior Games history, golf. Today, sports correspondent Jay Raskitas shares with us how the powerlifting category pushed the bar this year. Take a look.
Lift, eat, sleep, repeat. This is the mantra that most powerlifters live by. At the halfway point of the Warrior Games, competition continues to thrive during the powerlifting event. Athletes from all the armed forces, including the international countries, got their shot to push the bar. Literally. The competition was divided by 4 weight categories per gender, in which their primary objective was to bench press the maximum weight that they can with good form. A special designed bench press was created for the athletes so that it gives equal competition between athletes who may have lower limbs or not. We spoke to powerlifting athletes who shared with us their experience in the Warrior Games.
Going into the competition for powerlifting, I'm the team's ultimate champion female contender. So powerlifting was one of 8 sports I had to dedicate time to for many weeks. So for me, my performance met and exceeded my expectations just because of the experience, the environment, having my Air Force family here. It's been amazing.
It didn't matter about the placement and who got what. It was about who had each other's backs. And it didn't matter what branch we were in. That's what I love about it. And that's what the Warrior Games are about. We're all injured. We all have our injuries. We all have our stories. And we're here to share it with each other, build that support system, increase that support group to help us in the long run, not just for today.
And as the finalists took the podium and were recognized for their achievements, we asked what they took away the most from the competition.
I would say powerlifting in general, you got to have a lot of discipline, just like any other sport. You got to put in time in the gym. You have to eat right. You have to take your supplements. And you put in the time, you put in the effort, it'll pay off, man, in the end.
You push yourself past your limits, and when you experience that for yourself, you want to go more. You want to go more, and you want to become a better person overall. And it's that motivation, it's contagious. It's contagious.
I've went from being a recluse, not very healthy, staying in my house, stuck in bed, unable to move in pain, and adaptive sports has genuinely gave me a new purpose in my life and gave me a new being to be.
As the Warrior Games powerlifting competition comes to a close, these warriors continue to display grit and determination, traits that are truly inspiring. Signing off from Tampa, Florida, I'm Jay Rasquitas, always 1 with 25.
Still at the 2019 Warrior Games, this year's archery competition hits the bullseye with these champs. Here's the story.
As the Warrior Games hit the halfway mark, the archery finalists took aim and shot for the bullseye, the gold medal. The competition, which begun on Monday with the prelims, was made up of 5 categories: individual compound and recurve open visually impaired, individual compound open, individual recurve open, team compound, and team recurve. Combined men and women competitors also had the option to shoot bows from a standing or seated position. Though an individual sport, archery in the Warrior Games allowed different armed forces to join as a team.
Coming from non-archers, it was very stiff for us.
All three of us, it's the first time we've picked up a compound.
We're not even joking. Literally 4 days ago was the first time all 3 of us picked up a compound bow.
Yeah.
And I'm going to flat out brag, but we just hit 199 for our team effort.
Yeah.
Out of.
You can hold our own.
So I think we can. I think if we started dialing in a bit more, we're going to give it a good crack next time.
For the winners in the team category, it was a first for some.
This is the first time that Navy's won a medal for team rounds, and when we did, we got the gold medal, so it means a lot.
It means a lot because this was the team sport. It was something we didn't even know was happening. So I found out like yesterday afterwards that we did it, and I don't know, it was just really overwhelming, I guess, that I was good enough to make the team.
During the announcements of the winners, there was a sudden second place tie between Marine Corps and Army in the team compound category. So they battled one last time for a shootout to see who would place second. And Marine Corps came out and took the silver medal.
Yeah, that was terrifying because since we only got one arrow, like every arrow mattered like so much, and I was just kind of like, this one really counts, like don't screw up. And I shot and somehow I hit dead center and it worked, and then my coach screamed and I don't really remember anything else, and then we won it, so it worked.
The finalists also shared their experience with archery and how it took them to new levels in the Warrior Games.
The amount of pressure that you end up feeling on yourself, you know, you're trying to do the best that you can. At the same time, you got to stay calm so you can keep your aim steady. And it's a very precise, shot. You're trying to hit an X about the size of a quarter from 20 yards away. It's quite difficult.
Warrior Games is amazing, like the amount of team spirit and everything. I'm a very competitive person, and having something like this to work towards has actually completely saved my life. This is my first year at Warrior Games, and it was just amazing to see like your hard work pays off.
We just come out here, we understand that we've been through a lot, and it doesn't matter what team, what country. We know you've worked hard to get to where you are, so we help each other, kind of make it through it. And that's what it means, why it means so much to me. It's, archery saved my life, and Warrior Games has definitely saved my life. And, being able to be out here, I know I'm not the only one, so I get to share that with all my brothers and sisters out here.
Stay locked on Eagle News as we bring to you more coverage from the 2019 Warrior Games. I'm Jay Rasquitas, always 1 with 25.
Thanks, Jay. That is this week's Eagle News Weekend Edition. Join us again next time for stories from our bureaus across the nation and around the globe. Visit our websites at eaglenews.net and eaglenewslive.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/eaglenews and on facebook.com/eaglenews. Thank you for watching. I am Alan Basuyaje. I am one with 25.
Hi everyone, I'm Maria Matakio, and today I'm here at HAYSTACK Rock in Oregon. So this famous rock formation is a great place to witness sunrise and sunsets. You can set up a picnic blanket and hang out with your friends or family here at the beach. For more stuff like this, tune in to EBC Digital Nest. I'm Rio, and I'm one with 25.
Net25 is now available on OSN, the largest entertainment network in the Middle East and North Africa.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows on OSN channel 725, same day as the Philippines.
Net25 shows live and on demand,
anytime, anywhere,
on any mobile device on OSN Play.
E25 Records proudly presents
Palaging talo sa umpisa.
Rapido, I Do Rap! As he releases his debut album. Like and share E25 Records Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel of E25 Records. Music is now available for streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes. Brought to you by E25 Records.
South Cotabato.